The following is paid programming.
It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and this is our hour to talk taxes and audits and getting ready for tax season and looking at estate planning and all that kind of stuff. If you have any questions, give us a call in studio, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone, and we just really want to help you, and that's the bottom line. So whatever your problem, whatever your question, the program is so much better when you're involved because we love to hear what you have to say. And actually, everybody else loves to hear what you have to say, too. And I'm joined in studio with Chris Fabian. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Esther.
Hello, Christopher. And Tiffany Fabian.
Hey there, Esther. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm watching the guys in the studio. They're watching some football game or something.
This is the season.
Yep,
right?
they're all rooting for somebody.
I saw that there's a billboard in Buffalo that kind of says something bad about
Brady.
What's his Brady? Yeah, and then that I understand that they're selling like inflatables, so you can inflate balls.
Yes, air pumps
at the football store.
Yeah,
and so the thing I saw online today said, that we really have one up on the Patriots right now, but we have to win tomorrow.
Well,
really.
I drove by a tire store today, and it said, we inflate your tires, and we inflate footballs, too. So,
let's hope we play as good tomorrow.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, we're going to the game tomorrow, and Gracie, my daughter, made a sign. What does the sign say, Grace? What does it say?
She's not saying, but it says, Brady, you're still not innocent. And there's a nice picture of a deflated football with an air pump. So
wow, that's cool. All right, well, we got to talk taxes here. First of all, let's talk about our tax school coming up in October.
Yep.
It starts about mid-October, and it meets twice a week, either in the mornings or evenings. We have 4 locations. We have Amherst, we have Lockport, we have West Seneca, and we have Grand Island, and it's a great opportunity. If Steve was here right now, he'd say it's a great opportunity to learn taxes from A to Z, and we teach you the nuts and bolts, and we learn on our software, we learn the law, we use the IRS publications.
And it's in an adult setting, and I think that's really cool. So You're with other adults who
want to be there,
may not be great at computers, right? Don't know computers, but they really want to learn. And even if you don't do that well, in class, because we take the successful graduates and offer them novice positions at EG Tax. But it's great for just your own knowledge, and it's tax deductible.
Yep. I can't tell you.
It's not very expensive anyway.
Yeah.
All we're charging for is the book.
I can't tell you how many.
Education is no charge.
How many times I have business owners in my class, and it's just because they want to learn more about their business, the return that somebody does for them.
And then, Chris, we have something exciting. And let's face it, people that listen to Ask the Tax Lady find out all kinds of stuff before anybody else. What's happening with New York State of Health?
Well, it's still there, unfortunately, but they are doing something good to people. They're trying to help, and they understand the high cost of health insurance. And so they're coming up with an essential plan, which what it basically is a catastrophe plan, which means if you need it, it's there. You still get your free yearly checkups and things like that, but it's to help you avoid the penalty, which this year is 2%. So it can get really costly. So this essential plan is $20 a month per person. So
$240 a year.
$240 a year. There is income limits, but it can help, and it can do like a family of 4.
All right, so what's the income limit, do you know?
Yep, a family of 4, annual income is $18,850. Who are blind, that's 60, about 33,000, sorry. There's 3 different,
they're on Medicaid.
Yep, there's 3 different charts that they go by, but it is very It's a great plan for single people, the young kids who don't want to have health
let
insurance.
me tell you what I was thinking yesterday. So for $240 a year, you got this catastrophic plan. You get hit by a train. You go into the hospital, you're covered, right? Because
Yep.
catastrophic. Well, but let's just say that you have the $240 plan and they find out that you have a heart problem. Well, then because there's no problem with pre-existing conditions, you can always switch to the more expensive plan if you find out that you have a ongoing medical need.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
so really, it's something people really need to look at. If you can't afford insurance, rather than getting penalized, because if your income is $40,000, your household income is $40,000, 2% is $800 penalty, right?
Yep.
I'd rather get the
So
$240
$240 is a lot
year.
cheaper than $800.
Yep. And, two things. Open enrollment starts October 15th for health insurance. So you can start signing up for January 1st come October 15th. Second is you got to do planning when it comes to health insurance. I had a lady this week came in. She retired at age 62. She has this pension of $800, and then she was drawing out of her IRA to make up extra money. But half the reason she was drawing out of her IRA was to pay for health insurance.
Right?
So she was taking an extra $500 a month out. So by the time we backed out, I said, if you stop taking that money out of your IRA, that $500 a month, you qualify for Medicaid. So then you keep your money in your IRA and you get free health insurance.
And that's what's so important.
Pretty
Is
cool.
that's what planning's all about. You have your best ideas, but the thing is, there's like this back door that is still completely legal, which is a better way for you, and it's all about getting the best bang for your buck for the least amount of money.
Yeah.
And that's part of what we do at EG Tax, and we don't charge you.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
I mean, you just can't be. It's the greatest thing in the world because we want to be your advocate. Certainly at tax time when we're preparing your return, there's a fee for that, which is like half of everybody else, I might add. But in the meantime, use us as an ally, an advocate. We're on your side. We certainly want to help. But, I was thinking about that lady, too, without qualifying for Medicaid. Let's say that she was at that, maybe she didn't qualify for Medicaid, but with this $20 insurance policy, she might have used that until she became Medicare
Eligible. Yep.
eligible once
Yep.
she turned 65.
Yep, definitely. I mean, there's so much that goes into it, and as I said, you need to make an appointment with Tim, our healthcare specialist, and he's going to go over everything with you, tell you what's the best thing, what the plans.
And I
And
want
then
to
there's we charge a lot to see Tim, right? How much is Tim?
nothing.
Nothing.
And then I want to say, even if you think you have the answers, just come in and talk to somebody because there might
And
be
I'm
a
gonna
different
tell you,
viewpoint.
Some of the worst advice you can ever get is from your friends. I mean,
Yeah.
I love my friends, but they're not really, because taxes. You listen to all the politicians; they tell you how complicated the tax code it is, and that's part of what you want to do. You want to make sure that you get an advocate on your side. And Tim is a New York State
Licensed navigator.
So
Yep.
I mean, he's from New York State of Health, where he's licensed with New York State of Health, and you can get him by just calling EG Tax during the week, and we're very happy to help you. Correct?
Correct.
All right, let's see. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on your cell phone. We got Ray that's been waiting from Amherst. Hi, Ray. How can we help you?
Hi, Esther. 62 years old. I'm getting a lump sum distribution from my pension that I worked for a company years ago. I'm wondering, I want to have a direct transfer to a self-directed IRA, and I'm wondering if I invest those funds in dividend-bearing stocks, if the dividends are subject to tax every
only
year.
When you take them. Now, this was all money that was all pre-tax, correct? That went into this pension plan?
It was company pension. Yes, it's pre-tax.
Okay, so now when you're doing a self-directed IRA, basically you're calling the shots. But any money that you take out of your IRA, when you take those distributions, as long as it's still a traditional IRA, it's going to be fully taxable. So if you do not take any money from the dividends, until and when you take those distributions from your IRA, that's when it becomes taxable. In the meantime, you don't have to worry.
Okay, so what I'm a little confused about is when the dividends get issued quarterly.
They're not issued to you, they're issued to your IRA.
And your IRA has a different tax ID number than you.
Right. And
okay,
you know, you
so they're
want to make
directly
sure,
issued
Ray,
to the IRA.
you want to make sure that you have a qualified self-directed IRA. It has to have somebody else that's in charge of it, not just you. It has to have a fiduciary in charge. So you want to make sure, because many of these self-directed IRAs are deemed not qualified after the fact. So you want to make sure that it's a great idea, but you want to make sure you got your I's dotted and your T's crossed.
How do I make sure that they're qualified? I want to go through Scottrade. I don't know if that's something you know about.
Is Scottrade offering a self-directed IRA?
Yes.
Okay, so I would assume that Scottrade would know what they're talking about, but you want to make sure you ask that question. Has any of the self-directed IRAs been challenged by the IRS? Are they managed by a fiduciary other than yourself? Do you have even though you're calling the shots, can you go around the intermediary, because the person that's managing your self-directed IRA is really the person you have to answer to. So there's kind of a firewall between you and your assets.
Okay. Now, are the funds subject to any capital gains while they're in the IRA,
no? When you start the distribution, all right, it's going to be fully taxable. It's not going to be subject to capital gains at all. You're not going to have any capital gains. It's going to be ordinary income. It would be great if it was subject to capital gains because you get a break. But in a pension plan, it's going to be ordinary income. Okay?
Very good.
All right. Thank you. If you need us during the week,
enjoy your retirement.
If you need us during the week, call us at 632-7886. We're going to take a short break. I'm Esther Gillies, the tax lady. 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Give us a jingle. We'd love to help you. See you on the other side. Bottom of the barrel, like for a song, like let's see,
Come and
this
Get
is
My
from
Love.
1966. Esther will know that,
That's right.
but I don't know who it is. But
Is
I
it
know
the
that it
Bee
was
Gees?
somebody.
Redbone.
Redbone.
Who was it?
Redbone.
Redbone. Holy moly! I know the song.
And the red bone's connected to the hip bone.
Yes, see?
I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax. Love to help you. 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on your cell phone. I'd love to hear any questions that you might have. This is the last quarter before January, and you know what happens in January, you guys.
It snows.
I can't stand it.
It gets
That is
very,
so-
very hectic.
That's depressing, isn't it? When you look at a day like, the last week and today, I mean, it's just hard to believe that it's going to snow. Can't believe it.
Very
But
depressing.
anyway, we want to help you. 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. All right, since this is the end of the year, we were talking about fall tune-ups last week, and we were kind of quick. And I just wanted to reemphasize this. If you are a senior citizen and you don't have to file a tax return, okay, this is for you. Do you have an IRA or a pension that you haven't been taking distributions on because maybe you're over the age of 65 or 62 and you're not 70 and a half and you haven't been doing your RMDs, but your income is under $21,850, so you don't have to file a tax return? You can start taking money out of that IRA or pension tax-free. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Now, explain to people, because I'm not sure that they get it, what we're talking about.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So let's say that you're over the age of 65 and you're single and your standard deduction is around $12,000. Well,
no, it's $12,600 if you're married filing a joint return, plus a $12,550 kicker for being over 65,
personal
plus
exemption.
$8,000 in personal exemption. So $21,850 before you're going to pay any taxes, right?
Correct.
So let's say all you have is an $8,000 pension and your Social Security, where your Social Security is not taxable.
That's right.
So you got between pretty much your 8,000 and 20,000, like almost 12,000 you can take out of an IRA free.
Yep, tax-free.
Free, tax-free. And if you aren't, you have to go look in the mirror and say, gee, I wonder why I'm not, because it would be absolutely free. And if you have any questions, if you're saying, gee, it doesn't seem right, but it is, because they give you a standard deduction. They give you a little larger standard deduction because you're over 65. They give you your personal exemption until you hit that magic number of 21,850, and actually it's going to go up to about 22,000 this year. You don't pay any taxes, and they don't count. In most situations, they won't count your Social Security.
Right. Social Security is based upon other income, so
Right.
if it's that low, it won't be taxable
So
if you're
do
married.
yourself a favor. Many people talk about putting money into Roths because they don't want to pay taxes when they retire. Many of you people that are seniors aren't paying taxes anyway, and you're waiting to withdraw on your RMD from your IRA. You can withdraw now, and in many situations, if not most situations, you do it for free. And if you need help with that during the week, you can call us at EG Tax, and we will be happy to show you how to do it. You can come in and say, okay, Chris, how much should I take out? Tiffany, how much should I take out? And we'll tell you exactly what you can take out tax-free.
That's right. We
Cool.
do that for people, and that's part of our service.
Right. And then maybe you're somebody that should be doing an estimate. This is the time of year when you should take a look at your income, because maybe, of course, the market's been like being on a roller coaster, but if you were in some stocks that had made money and you know you're going to end up paying taxes this year, maybe you should start looking at your quarterly payments, your estimates, right?
Yep, because the IRS wants their money in equal periodic payments throughout the year. So you can't, and if you're short, now's the time to make sure that you have paid in what you're supposed to the federal and the state.
Right. So if you are going to owe the IRS more than $1,000, they want their estimate, right?
That's right.
And so the thing you have to do is, even though tax time is not now, you kind of have to sit down at the breakfast table maybe on Monday and say, okay, let's take a look at what's going to happen. You pull out those financial statements that your broker's been sending you and figure out whether or not you're going to have a balance due. Because if you do, now's the time to do your estimate.
And then don't forget, you can always do estimates to New York State, and you can potentially use it as a write-off next year when you file. So
that's exactly right, because your estimate to New York State is an itemized deduction if you're an itemizer.
Yep.
Right. So you
But
might
you want
want
to make sure you do it before December 31st.
That's what I was going to say.
Thank you, Chris. So the September estimate was due September 15th. The next estimate's due January the 15th of the next year.
Right. But
So again, if you think you're going to owe money, give us a call, because we're very happy to compute what your estimates are going to be, and we'll help you to do your quarterlies, right?
Yep.
And then the last thing I want to talk to you before we get to our caller is your extensions. When is the extension deadline?
October 15th. So we're
Less than a month.
We're knocking on that door.
Right. So if you haven't filed your 2015 return, give us a call. We'll be very happy to help you, because October 15th is the extension deadline, and we'll get your federal and state return done. Right?
That's right.
Yep.
All right, let's go to our phones, and we'll go to Jim in South Buffalo.
Actually,
Hi,
Mike
Jim. How
was
can we help you?
first.
Hi guys, I'm 58 years old right now. When I was 40, I went on Social Security disability because I'm losing my sight. I continued to work. I had 10 degrees of sight at the time. Now I have 5 degrees of sight, and I was getting Social Security plus I was working. The question I have is, when I leave work, I think I'm going to get another year out of this, but when I leave work, is my Social Security going to go, did I just screw myself because I didn't make it to 62?
No,
Years old?
no, because you're on SSD, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so that's Social Security for someone that's disabled. So your Social Security, probably, if you've been working, are you a single guy?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Has your income been like over $25,000 from self-employment, from your wages?
Yeah, and I pay a tax on half of that,
All right.
whatever. Yeah.
Right. So So you have not shot yourself in the foot. It was a wonderful thing that Social Security disability gave you the income to kind of help you along because of your disability, but you haven't shot yourself in the foot. As a matter of fact, you're going to get the higher amount of Social Security because you're disabled, as opposed to somebody else that would have taken it at age 62.
Okay.
Now, you've been taking the extra standard deduction for being legally blind, have you not?
Well, my tax man probably does all that, right?
Okay. All right. I hope so.
Check
because
with them.
you do get a larger standard deduction for being over 65 or legally blind, and in your situation, you were legally blind.
I'm 58, but
Yeah, if 65 or legally blind.
Okay. The other question is, I have a 401k and it has like 60 grand in it. If I should need the money, I'm not going to try to touch it for whatever, but do I have to pay a penalty on that to take a little bit out?
But you said you're 58, right?
Right.
At 59 and a half,
Okay.
you are able to take the money out without any penalty, or if you were legally unable to work. In your situation, at some point in time, the doctor may say you're unable to work because you can't see, and so
Right.
you'd have an exception to penalty. So in either situation, you'll have an exception to penalty.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, you're very welcome. I'm very sorry to hear about that situation, but
It's
I will
not-
tell you it's wonderful that he got the SSD.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. We have our
News.
gentleman
We
from
have news.
Grand Island Holding, and as soon as we break for our news, and on the other side, we'll take your calls, 8030930, star 930 on the cell phone. We'll see you on the other side.
From the WBEN newsroom, I'm Sloan Martin. Here's what's happening. An alleged shoplifter nearly dies after he tried to escape police by hiding in an underground sewer drain. Police say Friday 2 men ran from a Kmart in Batavia after allegedly stealing hundreds of dollars in merchandise. 30-year-old Wayne Rinker of Webster Monroe County tried to hide in the drain but got trapped and had to be rescued. He was pulled from the pipe unresponsive and barely alive. A 23-year-old man is hospitalized after a stabbing overnight. Police say it happened at around 2:30 this morning at Maggie's Bar, located in the 700 block of Military Road. It's believed the stabbing was a result of a dispute involving a number of people. 2 people have been taken into custody. The victim was taken to ECMC and underwent surgery. Governor Andrew Cuomo says he's not aware of any federal probe into the state's economic development efforts in Buffalo. Cuomo was responding to a New York Post report that federal prosecutors in Manhattan are looking into the Buffalo billion. A spokesman for U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara declined comment to the AP. I'm Sloan Martin, News Radio 930, WBEN.
Yes, I know that I'll never work out exactly how you're thinking, but let me know when I meet at home.
Great. Yes, you didn't go to the bottom of the barrel because it's so old. Okay, Tyler, I'm stumped. Who is it?
That's your favorite. That's Catfish and the Bottlemen.
I thought it might be. I thought of Catfish and the coffee cup.
Well, that's because you liked them
Not
so
the
much
bottle,
last
and I
week.
didn't think about that. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on cell phone. We want to help you with your money and your taxes and to make sure that you're good for next year. We're going to talk in a minute about pensions, pension contributions. This is the last part of the year to put the maximum amount of money that you possibly can into your pension. And we're going to talk about that. But in the meantime, we have Mike from Grand Island who's been patiently waiting. Hey, Mike, how can we help you?
Hello, Esther. Hi. My question has to do with gifted money to my daughter. She is in the process of buying a home, and we are considering gifting her an amount of money to help her with the reduction of the mortgage.
Okay.
My question is that gifted money considered a...
Is it
would
taxable?
that be a tax credit for myself?
Okay. Who wants to help Mike?
I would love to, and unfortunately, it is not a tax credit for yourself. The thing you might have heard about is you have to do a gift tax if you gift more than $14,000 a year per person per year. And so if you gift her more than $14,000 for 2015, you'd have to do a gift tax return. There would be no bill to you because the gift limitation per person is
Like $1.5
million. It's sort of like an accounting form, so you're keeping track of how much you've gifted her in her lifetime.
So Mike, gifts that you give to a non-qualified tax-deductible charity is not deductible to you, all right? And the maximum you can give is $14,000 per person per year without the necessity of filing a gift tax return, which effectively affects your estate upon your death, okay? So how much are you and your wife going to give to your daughter?
The gift is going to be $10,000, and
So
now I
there's
guess
there's
I
no
want to be
problem?
sure I understand. I don't have to do any paperwork for that.
Nothing.
Okay.
Just make sure
All right.
that, I guess I would write in my checkbook $10,000 gift to my daughter because it's well under 14 and it'll be documented that way. But it's not taxable to her, it's not deductible to you, and you don't have to worry about it.
It'll be transmitted directly from the bank.
Sure.
The bank is going to make the move on the money. And when I do my taxes later in the year with you, as I always do, I'll just review that to be sure everything is correct.
Yeah, you have no problem. It's not a problem. Again, $14,000 per person per year. So you could have given 14. Your wife could have given 14, which is 28. You could have given 14 to her husband. Your wife could have given 14 to her husband. So that's another 28. So you could have given 56,000 between the two of you to the two people and not had to file a gift tax return.
Okay, I understand.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Great
have a good day.
Thanks for calling. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. Want to talk, before we get to the other callers, about maximizing your pension contribution. The maximum contribution you can make if you're over 50, if you're 50 years or older, in a 401k, 403b, 457, or federal thrift savings plan, is $24,000. Now, if you put that in, that reduces your tax liability substantially by whatever tax bracket you're in. Correct, guys?
That's
Federal
right.
and state.
Yep, it does. So
And
what
a lot
great
of times people will say to
opportunity.
me, "Oh, I'm putting in 6%." That's gone by the boards. It's now an elective deferral, and you can actually go in and put that much in. But more than anything, if you have an employer that's going to do a match, maybe it's a 4% match of your salary, and your salary is 4% of 40, $1,600. If you put in $1,600, your employer is going to put in $1,600. And so if you don't do anything else or don't hear anything else that I've said, make sure you get in enough money so your employer can do the match, which is like throwing away money if you don't do it.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Free money.
Yep.
Free money. And I'm going to tell you, even if you say, "Oh, I can only do 1,000," 1,000's good. 1,000, he's going to match 1,000 then.
And then Esther, I was just thinking about something, and correct me if my thought is right. So say you do the maximum $24,000 a year out of your pension, and then you have an employer who would give you a loan. I don't know, that would seem like an okay plan, wouldn't it? And then
Loan to do what?
a loan on your pension, and
Well, you could, but you have to pay yourself back within 5 years, and
Right.
it's got to be for a really good reason.
A hardship.
You can't just say, "Hey, I feel like going to the
because I want to max out my.
But just give you an example: 24,000 that you would put away, and it's your money, would save you between state and federal, if you're in the 20% bracket, about $5,000.
Wow.
I mean, on this year's tax return. So not only did you put away 24,000, you're going to save 5,000. That's
Pretty
$29,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool. So, and again, you just have till December the 31st to do that. And a lot of it has to do with just changing your mindset. Maybe you've been eyeing that big screen TV, and I know you guys really need the 60-inch TV. You have to have
It's
it. but-
football time. Come on.
I know, but I'm going to tell you, there's nothing like having money when you get old. Hello. Ask anybody who's retired. You really need money when you get older, and that's really, really important. All right, let's go back to the phones. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. We got Bill from Springville who's been holding. Hey, Mr. Bill, how can we help you?
Your previous caller, one of your previous callers prompted this question regarding Social Security disability.
Yeah.
My question is, if a man goes on Social Security disability and has 3 dependent children under the age of 18 that lives with the mom, do you know if the children get any part of that or anything
the
from
children will get Social Security disability as well.
They will.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Until it's 17, I think. You got to check with Social Security, but I believe it's until they're 17. They're also going to get the Social Security disability if one of the parents is receiving Social Security.
And the thing is, Bill, if the parents, they have to declare their Social Security disability possibly on their tax return, but they would not put any of the kids' Social Security disability on their return.
But it's a wonderful thing, because when someone's disabled, the federal government steps up to help the family.
Okay, great.
Okay. Good question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bill. Hi, Mr. Golias, the tax lady. We have Rachel from
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Hey, Rachel, how are you, dear?
Hi there. I'm listening online.
Wow,
Well, thank
West
you.
Palm. So it's pretty hot in West Palm, right?
It's pretty hot, yes. It's very hot. We'll trade places and we'll both be happy.
Yeah, except in January, you won't trade places with us, will you, Rachel?
Well, that's true. I'm a Florida girl. I don't know what to do with snow.
Well, it's beautiful to look at. For
Put your
about 10 minutes.
muttluckers on.
True.
So what can we do for you, ma'am?
Okay, this seems to be Social Security Day. I
Okay.
turned 66 a couple of months ago. I have 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
I think, is 66, so now I can work full-time and I don't have a limit?
That's correct.
Yay.
Okay.
All right.
One down, one to go.
Let's explain that for everybody else listening. What she means is that if you start collecting Social Security at age 62, until you reach normal retirement age, you're limited as to the amount of wages that you can get. It's around $15,000 before you have to start paying back Social Security. $1 for every $2 you go over that limit. But at her age, which is now normal retirement age, she can make $1 million and not have to
Sky's
pay
the
back
limit.
Social Security.
That's right.
But it was
From your lips to God's ears. Okay. My other question is, I've heard you say that, don't win $1,000 in the lottery because then you have to pay Social Security taxes on your Social Security. Does that
No. You can, if you win. Here's the
so
thing.
they're apples and oranges.
Right. Here's the thing.
Okay.
If you are somebody that's a gambler, all right, and let's say you won $20,000 in the lottery, you won $20,000 at the casino, and you have Social Security, and your Social Security would not have been taxable before because of the income that you got from gambling. It's going to make your Social Security taxable, even if you spent the whole thing gambling, and it's an itemized deduction. So because on line 21 is the income, on the Schedule A is where the deduction is, but it makes your Social Security up to 85% more taxable. Now, if you're somebody that just happened to hit the lottery and you won $1,000, I don't think it's necessarily going to hurt you just that $1,000. But let's say you make $50,000. At least if you still have the $50,000, you have the money to pay the extra taxes and the Social Security. I'm talking about people that win at the casino and lose it all. The bottom line is that after, because they lost it all, they have nothing to pay the extra taxes they're going to sustain. And so you have to think about it, because you end up being taxed, in many cases, 85% of your Social Security, and you really don't have anything left to pay the taxes, and it can really hurt.
Okay, I'm not much of a gambler, but I do have a question. If you have you have the little card, there's the Indians have one down the road, a bar piece, and I've been there a few times, but they have a record of what you spent. So would that counteract it? Can you deduct it?
Well, the income is on line 21 of page 1 of the 1040, okay? So here's the $50,000 you won gambling.
A rub.
You lost $50,000. That's an itemized deduction, okay? But the
Yes.
$50,000 you won makes your Social Security 85% taxable. So if you had $20,000 in Social Security, you're going to end up paying like on $17,000 worth of income that you didn't get any more of. It's just the way the cards fell because you had the income. So the income's on the left-hand side, the deduction's on the right, but in between is your Social Security that ends up being taxable.
But Rachel, you can deduct off your losses, but it goes in a different spot. Do you understand what she's
But
saying?
in the meantime, your other income is taxed. Right.
Right.
Okay. Thanks, dear.
Good
Thanks for calling.
questions.
I'm Esther Goliath, the tax lady, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on the cell phone. And we're going to take a short break. We can't wait to hear what you have to say on the other side. I like that.
Wish
All right,
they'd
help
have
me out
some-
here. Who's that?
Esther, that's our favorite. Don't you remember when we were dancing into this at the stadium?
That's not the Rolling Stones.
Now you can tell.
Now it is.
Huh? Who is
Now you
that?
can tell. That's
the
Rolling
Stones?
Stones.
Oh, yeah.
Mick
I can hear it.
Wow.
Can't you hear me
I
knocking?
will tell you, when I saw them in concert and their faces came up on the Jumbotron, the one guy looked like, Keith looked a little bit like a Shar-Pei puppy. He had so many wrinkles. And I asked my husband if there was oxygen in the house in case they succumbed, but they were remarkable. Anyway, all right, let's talk about taxes. I'm Esther Goliath, the tax lady, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on the cell phone. Okay. Something else this time of year. If you're somebody that works at home and you are using your kitchen table, shame on you.
Yep.
Because you can create your own deduction by moving into a room that you're using regularly and exclusively for business. So your kitchen table you got to eat on, right? But if you have a spare bedroom, or if you can create an area in your house that's just for your office, then you get to deduct your utilities, your homeowner's insurance, your repairs, your depreciation, rent, office supplies, equipment, mileage, furniture. You know, I mean, you really have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh, I'm just too stupid to move into that extra room. And because it costs you a lot of money in extra taxes. This is a deduction that you can create if you're working out of your home.
Yeah,
correct?
Absolutely. And it has to be a room that you regularly and exclusively, like you said, use as an office. And I don't know why. I've been doing taxes for 15 years. People always have this notion, they've heard it through the grapevine, that that's a very audible item.
Well, it used to be, I mean, it used to be something that the IRS
Look
really
at.
went after, but now they have the simplified method. And a lot of people, I mean, I have to tell you, so of great, as many of my friends are close friends of mine. They've gone to their employer and said, "Gee, is there any reason why you need me to come in? Because you guys are moving to another facility, and do you really want?" And the employer said, "No, really. I'll tell you the truth. I'd rather have you work at your home." So many people, especially with the computer, are working at home and making the same amount of income. Of course, they work in their pajamas, but there's no requirement you have to have a business suit on. But the bottom line is put your space, all your equipment and everything in one particular space if you're working at home, because it'll save you some substantial money, right?
Right. I know there's people like one spouse, they'll be up here and one spouse will get a job, we'll say, down in Florida. And they're like, well, what do? We both have jobs. And the other spouse will go to their boss and say, look, I can do this from a home down in Florida.
Remotely.
Can I do this? Can I do my job remotely? And some of them will say, yeah, do
my
it.
cousin, my niece rather, just moved to Florida. The same thing. She and her husband are in Florida working, and they're working out of their home.
Yep.
You know, so. Again, it has to be for the employer's convenience, regularly, exclusively for business. But if that's your situation and you need help, give EG Tax a call. We'll be very happy to help you. Okay, let's go to Rosie, who's been holding. Hi, Rose. How can we help you?
I want to ask about Social Security D. I'm legally blind, but that happened after I retired. I'm 60. In fact, I'm 90 now.
Oh, my.
Does that change my amount of my Social Security?
No, because you're now
I'm not
well
going to
past
work.
normal retirement. had it happened prior to normal retirement, then
No.
you would have gotten a stepped up amount of money per month. But after normal retirement, you just get your regular Social Security.
Oh, that's what I thought. And could I ask another question?
Sure.
I have one son on Social Security D. Can he inherit money?
Of course he can inherit money.
I mean, there's no drawbacks because he's getting...
No, not for Social Security.
Do you mean can he inherit any of your Social Security?
No, I know that's not. Right.
See, the bottom line is when you are collecting Social Security disability, that's based upon your inability to work. Social Security income, SSI, is different because SSI is based upon your income, that you're a low-income person. SSD is based upon your inability to work due to a disability. So one is one thing and one is another.
I see.
Okay.
Well, right. That's fine. That's what I thought.
All
well,
right,
thank
dear.
you very much.
All right, thanks
Enjoy
for calling.
your show.
Thanks for the question. I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930, 803-0930-930 on a cell phone, and we have Mark from Lancaster. Hi, Mark. How can we help you?
Hey, how you doing? I got a quick question. I'm going to be turning 60 shortly. I'm retired. I'm going to retire from active duty military, so I'm going to get an active duty military pension immediately. My original plan was to elect to take early Social Security benefits at 62. However, I heard the comment just a few minutes ago about the $15,000 max without penalty.
Well, that's for working. Are you going to be working?
No, I'm just going to be collecting the military pension, and actually,
but you
before I
see,
went back in the military, I accrued a local pension from a company here that I was going to draw.
Mark, the $15,000 is for somebody's wages, pension, rental property, sale of stock, interest, dividends. That does not get computed in the $15,000.
So you're okay.
So you're okay.
And then Mark, don't forget that your government pension is all tax free on the state of New York. So don't forget to do that.
Social Security.
Outstanding. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks
you,
for
sir.
serving our country.
That's right.
It was a
I'm
pleasure.
Esther
Great
Gullius,
job.
the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. We only got like 5 minutes. I wanted to make sure that everybody understands in the fall of the year, if you haven't opened up your simple plan for your employees, if you're an employer, you have to do that in October. And the same thing with your KEO plan. If you're starting a 401k plan or a KEO plan for your employees, make sure you do that. The other thing is with the Obamacare thing, if you're in insurance and all the penalties, the $2,000 per employee, if you have 50 or more full-time equivalent employees, you want to make sure that you are getting the best insurance for the least amount of money. And again, if you need help with that, we have a navigator. New York State of Health offers something for small businesses, right?
They do. There's an exchange for small businesses.
And it's called SHOP, right?
It's called the SHOP. You can go through the SHOP and get your insurance there. The health insurance, it's not a friendly thing. They're trying to help. I know someone the other day got called into Human Resources, and they're on per diem, and they said, look, you're working more than 30 hours a week. We have to offer you health insurance. And she said, but I'm only 23. I'm still on my parents. I don't need it. They said, good, sign here. So that made it look like it shows that we talked to you and got everything taken care of.
I mean, right now, I think employers are realizing that this thing is happening and going to happen. And again, we only have another 3.5 months before January the 1st. And if you have any of those kind of questions, give EG Tax a call at our corporate headquarters, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. During tax season, of course, we're there bell to bell, sun up to sundown, and in between. The other thing is I wanted to mention, let's take the last call.
Okay.
That would be the most important. Let's talk to Roger.
Roger
Hey, Raj.
Black.
How are you? How can we help you?
I'm sorry, Dave.
Hi, my name is Roger.
Yeah, Raj.
I was just calling. I have a 529 for my daughter, Sarah. And it sounds like she isn't going to school. You know, we had saved up. She's 17 now, and she's not going to go to school. So what I would like to do is essentially just take the money and purchased a home for her. I was wondering what the tax consequences are on that.
Okay, Chris, you
Well-
want to explain what happens on the 529
well,
if you take it?
It will all be taxable, and then there's a penalty. But do you have another child?
I do not.
Okay. I mean, you can keep the money in there till she turns up to 30, and then if she has a child, you can turn her 529 into your grandchildren's 529 also. So then you're not paying tax on the money and the penalty.
But again, he's only going to pay on the appreciation
On
on
the
federal,
appreciation,
and
yep.
and on the state is
The
is
appreciation
what
also.
So I mean, how much money are we talking about, Raj?
I have about 43,000 in there.
You have 43,000 in
What
your
a
daughter's.
good dad.
And you're sure she doesn't want to go to school?
Yeah, she's talking about going to the military. She wants to go to the Air Force, but I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with that. I mean, this is kind of a new thing. I'm just wondering.
well,
I've saved now for.
Okay, well,
you know,
so
nearly
really you're
17
looking
years.
at 4 years down the line anyway, right? Before
Yeah.
you're going to get her. All right, well, the bottom line is if you're on the 6% bracket in New York State, you're going to pay about $2,600 in taxes. So it's not the end of the world. But before you run and take that money out, make sure your daughter, because you know what happens between 17 and 24? They grow up and get brains.
And then
I'm
I
gonna
think
tell ya.
his question was, could she use the money to buy a house? And the answer is she couldn't
Yeah,
without
but-
paying that New York State tax.
No, it's going to be taxable.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, well, no, I know. But I don't know. I mean, between 17 and 24 to grow up and get brains. I mean, I think she's making a good,
Military's a good decision.
I'm just kidding.
He's
what
watched my
happens
daughters
is
change their mind a million times.
Many times they change their mind, is what I mean. And
Okay.
And I think she's probably a wonderful girl, but I'm going to tell you, before you rush and take that money out of the 529 plan, make sure that's really what her decision's going to be. Okay?
Alrighty, I'll tell her.
Thank you. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady. If you need help during the week, give us a call at 632-7886 at our corporate headquarters. We're here to help you. Until next week, I'm Esther Golias with Christopher Fabian and Tiffany Fabian. And we'll have a great week. Bye-bye.